I feel very confident when I get the right front that I can get, you know, frankly, get a big deer in front of us. I had a window that was this big. I squeezed that arrow through. But Trevor's not done.
All right, so now it's my turn. Kansas. I'm going rifle season. My Kansas ended badly, or so I thought. He's like, so when can you get here? I pack up and we shag butt to Kansas. Well, in Kansas, I think of giants. A lot of ag fields, huge ag fields, and that's why I've been going for about 4 years now. I've had good luck.
Kansas is like a second home to me because I'm in Oklahoma. It's just my neighbor to the north. And, you know, being able to jog, you know, a few hours, in a lot of cases over the years, Kansas places were closer than our Oklahoma places. So, so Kansas is always, I've spent more time than I could possibly retail here in the state of Kansas, and I've had a lot of luck. And over about 15 years now hunting in the state. So when I think of Kansas, I think of success. 2011 is whenever I first met Clark and James up at Saltgrass Outfitters. At the time, I was filming for another show, and I was producing another show, actually a couple shows. And I was just kind of, you know, like the camera guy in camp. But I was starting to form a relationship with James and Clark.
My name is Clark Schmidt, and I live in Sterling, Kansas. I've lived here all my life, and I've farmed my entire life, but right now I'm mostly just a hunting guide.
James Silman, live in Sterling, Kansas. Currently I'm working full-time for Home Lumber. Also am a partner with Clark Schmidt with Saltgrass Outfitters.
Saltgrass started in 2004, and I basically looked around one day and decided I had more stuff to hunt than I could ever hunt in my lifetime or cover in a year. So I tried to get the thing started, and here we are.
Currently we're running approximately 15,000 acres that is either owned or leased by us.
We do a lot of archery, whitetail deer. We do some muzzleloader and rifle as well, but archery is our main focus.
We would generally start that in late October and run through the third week of November. After bow hunting or after the rut or late rut, then we transition over to upland game bird hunting, primarily quail hunting.
The first time I met Brandon Adams, he was just a snot-nosed little kid cameraman for another TV show. It was the first time I met him, and that would have been 2011.
The relationship started then. The friendship certainly was getting cultivated at that point in time.
He was with a group that hunted here for several years, and it wasn't after a couple of years, he also hunted with us, and we just kind of stayed in touch over the years. As people have drifted in and out, we've just always stayed in touch, and he's hunted with us off and on, and even when he wasn't hunting with us, he stayed with us at our lodge, and so it's been a good relationship.
Saltgrass Outfitters has felt like home, you know, for the last almost 10 years, since 2011.
The one thing I've always admired about Brandon is his ability to hunt. He has a unique ability to be very cognizant of where he's stepping, a unique ability of how we're going to access that stand, cognizant of the wind. He's efficient with his time.
His expectations are realistic as far as deer goes. He's killed some awfully big deer in his life, but he understands, you know, that a 140-inch deer is a trophy in a lot of people's eyes, and is not likely to pass it.
Has a love for it, a passion for it. It's more about the experience rather than the kill.
As far as the camp life, he's great to have around the camp, and things are lively when he's around, and I appreciate that.
Is cognizant of the age of the deer and is certainly looking for a mature deer, but has a unique ability of adapting to go and get that deer.
This year, I was super excited to get back to Saltgrass because I was inviting Trevor Johnson.
My man
And
Trevor.
For the people out there that don't know, Trevor Johnson was an integral part of the Oklahoma Grand Slam.
Possibly one of the hardest ones.
Without a doubt, the hardest one. As far as, and I have these in different levels, as far as getting on a farm that has one of these big game animals on it, the elk is the hardest one.
Yes.
And Trevor Johnson was able to get me on one of those farms. To show my gratitude to him, I invited him to Kansas to come hunt alongside of myself.
Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna run in real quick. Good seeing you.
How are you, man?
Good to see you.
Yeah.
I got something for you real quick.
Oh my gosh, he's got something for me. That's freaking awesome, bro. Dude,
Cool, isn't it?
thank you, man. That's awesome. That's gonna go up in the office.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. Thank you so much. God, I have to take back all the things I said about you. No, man, golly, thank you, dude.
Yep.
Dude, Trevor's awesome.
Yeah.
I like Trevor. I cannot express to you how much I like Trevor more than you.
Wow, really?
Just- I really
like
can't-
Trevor more than you.
Dude,
I've met him
I
once.
agree. That's one of the things that we agree on.
We agree on something, finally.
Yeah. The first thing that we do when we get there is catch up with James, and then Clark shows up. We catch up with Clark. It's like old times. Oh, look. And then got to introduce him to Trevor. What are you doing, Mr. James?
Making cookies.
How are you, man?
Good. Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Good to have
That's
you.
a big old pile of cookies.
Well, you might be here for 2 days.
Maybe with the weather, you know, you're right.
Like when you killed your bull, and I'm watching that video, and you run over to get another arrow, and to make that shot the way you did it, if that's 10,000 feet, there's some.
Oh, yeah. How are you doing, Mr. Clark?
I'm good. I'm Clark.
Trevor Johnson. Nice to meet you.
We're sharing war stories here. Well, we are driving around, pulling into a property right now behind Mr. James and Trevor. Met up with James and Clark at the lodge, talked a little strategy, and right now we're going around looking at their setups and going to either hang our own stands around them or hang camera stands above them. So that's what we're doing right now.
Prior to that, the only wheat was south here. All the deer were working their way back in. We're right there right now. But if we wanted to go get on the north side of it, even, right here,
Yeah, that'd be a good
would
spot.
not be a hard hang.
Really excited. We got some unbelievable weather coming in tomorrow morning. And they got an absolute ton of big bucks floating around. It feels really good to be back up here with James and Clark at Saltgrass Outfitters. I've been staying here and hunting here since 2011, so it's real tight in here, but we gotta be right here. So we're gonna have a north, sun setting down west right there, so the wind's gonna be like this. Absolutely perfect if we can get right in here somewhere. That's a good tree. It's just a crazy amount of trimming. We'll make it work. You want to be. Well, yeah, we picked this tree right here. Not far from where we want to be. Problem is, it's not really a problem. It's got a ton of cover, but we're not going to be able to hang it very high, which is good. We got a lot of cover. We got a lot of trim to do, so a lot of downfalls, but I think we're in a great spot. Wind's going to be amazing. Access not so good, but wind's amazing. Blowing across this creek. So once we're in it, we're bulletproof. All right, Trev. Okay, great. All right, now go out where Hayes is. I feel like I need one hole right here. Well, we just got the stand hung, and it's not. I mean, it's probably only 7 foot off the ground off of this level, probably 9 foot off the ground from where the base of the tree is, but we have all the cover in the entire world. I'm pumped. Thank Trevor and James for helping me out with the lanes. we had to trim some lanes up. So that's one downfall. Another downfall of the spot, the biggest downfall of this spot is the access. But the biggest plus of this is once we're in the stand with the northwest wind, we're bulletproof. Is that right, James? Absolutely bulletproof once we get to the stand. Bad thing is we got to walk through some good stuff to get here and walk across the trail. We'll make it work. Alrighty. Feels good, brother. Middle of October. Hunting mid-October can be tough, but when you hunt with the weather, you know, odds are definitely in your favor. Right now, the weather is muy bien. So let's go. Getting ready, as you can tell, it is exceptionally windy, but we're gonna be on the south end of a lot of timber, so with a strong northwest wind in our face, so hopefully it's not blowing too hard in there. If it is, I've killed deer in stronger winds, so we'll be all right. I'm excited. I'm just settling in. October the 10th. Here in central Kansas with my good buddies at Saltgrass Outfitters. I've been coming up here for a long time. But we came in yesterday on a new set around the edge of the creek, of Cow Creek. And we're playing the wind blowing right in our face, blowing right over the creek. So we're bulletproof sitting in here. Only bad thing is that we walk from the north field through the timber with the wind right at our back. Walking straight in here, so it's the only way we can make it work. The creek's too high to go across, so we made it work. So anyway, wind's blowing crazy. Had a huge cold front come through this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. Wind's blowing 20 to 30 out of the northwest. Probably gusting more than that. But I felt good. We're on the south end of some trees. So the wind's really not blowing very much down here low. So it's gonna be tight, but it's gonna be amazing if we can get one of these big bucks that's in the area to walk down this trail in front of us. Y'all stay tuned. There's a deer right there. Oh, that's a pretty good buck. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can shoot him right here. You see him, right? The only problem is he's not walking the trail that I was wanting him to walk, which is about 15 yards from the creek bank. He's on the creek bank. We didn't cut any limbs back behind us. We were using that as back cover. Shoot him. If he's a shooter. I smoked him, didn't I? Huh? Yeah, all right. Just, I know, I got you. You're good. It is very early. first day in, October the 10th, he, instead of walking down the trail that we were anticipating them walking on, it's actually an old road right here. He cut in the timber right here. I seen him 30 yards away. He cut in the timber and then followed the edge of the creek bank. And I'm talking, I had a window that was this big that I squeezed that arrow through. Oh my gosh, I am so grateful to be here right now. This is a farm that I have a lot of history with. This is the stand that we hung yesterday. As you can tell, it's not very high off the ground, probably maybe 9 foot off the ground, the bottom of my platform. And we were actually anticipating the deer using the trail that's in front of us. They did not. This buck actually got on this creek bank behind us and was walking this creek bait now. And I was able to squeeze an arrow through there. So I'm gonna look at the arrow and go find a buck. Is a very, very good looking arrow. That when you draw back on an animal and you retrieve your arrow, that's what you're hoping to find. Holy cow. Was tracking blood everywhere. I mean, it was, you know, you got those walking blood trails where you can walk as fast as you want to walk.
Yep.
Blood everywhere. It was a walking blood trail. So I was a little perplexed whenever we jumped the buck up about 30 minutes later. Hey, baby. What are you doing? Daddy shot a good buck tonight, baby. I think Daddy made a good shot. It seemed like I made a good shot. There's blood everywhere, but I jumped him up. So we're going back to the truck and we're going to go back to the house and watch the footage and give this deer some time. But he's a really good deer, baby. So just tell Mama that I love her, and then I'll call her in a little bit. All right? All right, bye, baby girl. I love you, miss you. Really good. It's red carpet. So where I shot him, there's literally pieces of lung right there. It's shot lung material down the creek bottom that was stuck in the creek below. But there's blood everywhere. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, we never got off blood. All right.
Gonna be all right. Let me. We'll get him.
I'll go home and medicate. Okay. Well, it is the next morning. We have been in camp. Told the story 100 times. And heading back out. Right here, it's just first daylight, 27 degrees. And I felt good about the shot. Frankly, I don't know why he wasn't dead when we jumped him up. We jumped him up about 45 minutes after I pulled the trigger, about 200 yards from where I shot him, out of a bed. My main thought of the situation is that it was a steep angle. I hit him in the back of the lungs and probably went down one side, cutting into one lung, went through the thoracic cavity, obviously, and punched out the bottom of the other side, but didn't get a whole lot of bleeding inside of the lungs. But he's not gonna be able to breathe. He's got pretty good bleeding. we know that because for the 200 yards we follow the blood. But he's on the creek bank. You see him, James? Yep. I see him. Yep. See him laying down there? Yeah, he's right here, 60 yards. I see him. Dude. God, golly. We found him, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. I appreciate you coming out here and helping me look for him. But for real, man, I'm super happy that you're here. I'm grateful that you allowed me to come hunt with you last year. That's not the only reason why I gave you an invite, but it's one of the big reasons why I invited you along. So I'm just tickled that you're here, and
I'm tickled to be here.
get to share camp with James and Clark, and my wife and my girls just rolled in last night, which is cool. That's rare for me because my girls are never in camp with me. But so to get to share in a great kill with them is going to be fun. Oh, yeah. Now we have the arduous process of getting them up this 10 feet of bank. It's only 10 feet. It's just slicker than snot and steeper than the wall. We'll make it work.
Lots of hands.
We're gonna get you a buck tonight. The weather's amazing, so I felt pretty confident you're gonna get a shot at one. Just find all kinds of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah. I found a buck this morning.
Yay.
That's kind of the same thing.
Welcome to Kansas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brittany. He owns a house. Yeah.
This is a nice house.
No. He came, so we set up. There's a road here, and we got the camera and stuff out in front of us, and we was expecting them, obviously to be in front of us. We had all these lanes cut and everything.
You didn't cut anything back there.
Nothing. He came in behind us. There was only 5-10 yards between us and the creek bank, and it's just.
This tree we're in is like 5 trees, really.
Yeah, it's like a big mess of trees, and he came in behind us, and somehow, there was a little bitty hole I shot through like that.
I didn't know he was this heavy.
Think I was holding that much weight for you?
No.
Good?
So, while you was getting a kill on your buck, tell us this story about Trevor. Come on, man.
Let's do it, man. All right, you go that way, and I'll go this way. Trevor had an unbelievable opportunity. He was self-filming, bless his heart, and he did a phenomenal job because he was in the blind that very first evening, and the #1 deer we wanted to have in front of him, is a giant. JC,
That's what I've heard.
giant, comes out and stands broadside right there, at the corn pile. I don't know how far it is, but it was, it's a corn pile, so it's not that far. It's unfortunate for him because, he is he's a huge guy. He's a really, really big person. Like physically as a big person. But
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. But he has the softest heart.
Oh, he does. There's
And
no doubt.
And I felt for him that night as we were making fun of him relentlessly.
I was going to say, thank goodness I wasn't there.
As we were just freaking hammering him for missing this giant. But what they did offer me, it was the ability, after I recovered my buck, it offered me the ability to spend the next week with him.
Right.
So I was in a tree with Trevor for the next, I think, 5 days. It was crazy because everywhere we went, the deer that we wanted to kill wouldn't show up. And then another spot, so like we were at 1A, 1B would have the deer that we wanted to kill show up. It was always, we were in the wrong spot at the right time. And we had some great hunts as far as seeing deer. We've seen a lot of deer, just never seen a big boy.
James and Clark are some really stand-up guys, and I think I made a couple more friends for a lifetime, so let's head south, I guess.
So my family's in camp, and it was cool because Brooke got to watch me skin this deer. And she's seen me skin deer before.
Right.
But, this was like, she's getting older, she's got some more questions. It was just kind of cool seeing her be involved in the process more
That's good.
than usual.
That's good.
And she's my youngest one, so I was super, super proud, super happy to have her there as as we were providing meat for the family. So that was how I closed my Kansas season, was killing a great buck, getting to spend time up at Saltgrass Outfitters, which I cherish every time I can, and getting to spend time with Trevor. Yet, you know, to say thank you for the elk hunt from the previous year. I don't know. I was super proud of Kansas. It produced yet again, and hopefully next year will produce the same.
Yep. All right, so now it's my turn. Kansas. Rolling in a little after BA here. I'm going rifle season. Whew, I don't know. It was yet another JC experience of just not great.
More than one here in Kansas. I'm in rifle season. Little porterhouse ribeye. We'll see what happens, folks. Y'all just stay with us. We're gonna be. I got a feeling it's gonna be a good one.
All right, guys, it's a slow morning. We're gonna go ahead and back out, go get a little like brunch, and get back in there. We're gonna try to change some stands. I mean, it's a great spot. We thought really we was gonna get to see something. Just wasn't our way this morning, but hey, one of us got a kill, big ox. We're gonna go over there and see what he's got. He got a nice 10-point now. And I guess when he was trying to pick it up to look at it, the horns fell off. So we're getting ready to go see this.
This is a man's face that has seen so many deer. I don't know. I should have shot 37 times by now.
Had deer. It's just no shooters. I mean, not for Kansas.
It's so cold outside today. Hey baby, hey, it's so windy. Wind finally calmed down pretty good. Sun's popping out, so deer should be moving, because I know they laid up all day today with it blowing 50 miles an hour like it was. Itself. It's getting time to punch a ticket or eat a tag, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't like tag sandwiches. They're not very tasty. What we call the forky. It's a beautiful, on this left side, beautiful 5-pound. Then we're gonna give them on pass. We're still sitting there waiting for old sad daddy to come out, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get that. I've been sitting out here for 4 days now. It's been a good week. Had a blast. Just winding down.
My Kansas ended badly, or so I thought. I just left.
You did?
Like 3 days. One of my buddies, the same guy that just left, calls and says, hey man, you don't have to come back, but I got you a deer coming in regular in Kansas. He's like, he's been there 4 days in a row. And he's like, come on, he's coming in regular, come on in. And he's like, hey, I'm telling you.
Like, there's a big food plot, right?
Yeah, there's a big food plot, huge food plot. It was, I can't even remember, turnips. That's exactly what it was turnips.
As you can see, you got a 2-acre food plot, great bedding areas around both sides, really. Those 2 corners real super thick. Brett said they're gonna come in from that bedding area over there to hit the food plot and go back to bed. And then on that corner over there, that's where their main 2 areas are. They're gonna come in. So we're gonna sit here, give it little wild boys. We're fixing to be on something. We're gonna kill us a deer. We're going after two target bucks, a big 8 and big 10. So those are our 2 target bucks right now. A tall 8 and a big 10. We're gonna see what we got going this evening.
First deer comes out, buck. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a great day, great hunt.
Where? Oh gee, there's a tank.
Boom, there he comes, big old 8. Tall, it's tall time, not real wide, real tall, real heavy. I looked over at Hayes and he said, that's him. I was like, all right. He walked straight in, went straight to the middle of the field, right where the guy said he was gonna go.
Ready.
He's down, big one right there.
Yes, sir. Big 8 down. Oh man, what a quick hunt. Oh wow. So one of the 2 bucks on the shooter's list came out, the big 8. Sat there and waited. We had the 10 point and the 8, and the 8 just showed up first. If they're on your hit list, boys and girls, you take it. Oh wow, he didn't go far at all.
Kansas, man, y'all don't know how much this means right here. Long, hard hunting, man. Got up in the stand, had a good wind. It was real windy. Not the perfect wind for that stand, but we moved. Brett had another one set up over a little ladder stand. We moved over there. We had 3 or 4 bucks coming in, real nice. And then this one right here stepped in. The rest is in the story, boys. The old green tag is filled. Kansas field. Can't thank Brett enough for bringing me out here and letting me hunt it. And Hayes for picking up on short notice and coming out here before our trip to Kentucky. Pretty much wrapping my Kansas up. I got the pleasure of seeing that monster you killed, first off. And then getting to laugh at Trevor. I mean, it just is what it is. You know, mine ended up very good. And also, I'm looking forward to hunting with James and Clark in Kansas next year, hopefully, if I can get drawn. Right. Of course, it's all about, you know, these states getting drawn for. You know, you never know.
I look forward to it, and I know that in the future, Kansas is going to produce, because there ain't been too many years in the past that Kansas has not produced. I don't have any doubt for next year either.